First, love. Everybody dreams about love. I never had a girlfriend or kissed a girl until I was 18. Growing up, I'd sit with my friends and exchange stories. I know some boys were luckier than others. I think I was the most unfortunate one. But I enjoyed my friends' stories of how they were having sex, how they kissed the girls. And of course, I lied about how many girls I had been with. And I was laughing at. Everyone would look at me. You? I said, yeah, of course, you know what I mean. Lie after lie. My imagination never ended. The reality was that I was looking to have the girl who everybody wanted. The best in the class, best in the school, best in the street, and best looking. Now, let me tell you, each time I met a girl like this, I would fall in love. I was falling in love left, right, and center. But none of the girls ever noticed me. It did not help that their mothers used it to be saying to girls in my school, do not associate yourself with that Mario. He's a thug, he's a thief, he is a criminal. All these names would kill any desire to be with me. I was always a third wheel, or in reality more like a 12th or 16th wheel. I was doing nothing and everything just to be noticed. But I was never noticed unless it was my stupid behavior. Then, just by chance, I met a girl in Zagreb, the capital city of Croatia. And it was autumn of 1990. And I had just turned 18. I remember I was so happy when I saw her face for the very first time. I didn't know she was going to be the love of my life, my first sexual encounter or anything. I just knew I wanted to be with her. She was 15 years old, I was 3 years older and finishing high school. She was so innocent, with big brown eyes and short brown hair. She had all these freckles on her face and she was so cute. I did not even know how to attract a girl. I think in my defense I was a bit older than her, that helped. I like to believe I was the one for her. We started dating. We would walk around the streets of Zagreb every afternoon and every evening. I loved those moments with her. Whenever I was going back to my home city, went on holiday or was sick, I knew I couldn't not wait to see her. In those times, there was no mobile phones or instant communication. I didn't hide my happiness. I made sure everyone knew. I remember asking her for a picture of her, and she said she needed me to take the picture first. When she gave me the picture, she wrote on the back, "Love me tender, love me true." I carried this picture with me everywhere for years. I had her picture on my wall. I wanted everyone to see. I carried it in my pocket and my happiness was endless. I truly believed I was invincible and that our love was going to last forever. We were inseparable. I couldn't not live without each other. I knew that this was a real love. For the very first time, I felt that somebody wanted me for who I was and what I was. This was going to be the most beautiful story ever. We became more and more intimate. The kissing progressed. I was the first man she ever had sex, and she was the first girl I had sex with. Things were very special between us, and even discussed how many kids we're going to have together. Then, just like that, we went to one of the big protests in capital city where Croatia was declaring independence. We saw that things were changing so rapidly. The mood of the people was becoming very volatile. The desire for independence created emotions in people that are hard to understand. When I was 18, I didn't know what independence was. I was part of Yugoslavia living in Croatia. I was supposed to be an officer in the Yugoslav People Army. I didn't know anything, but I did see nationalism expanding. Radicalism was on the corner of every street. Suddenly, newspapers started carrying stories about Croatian independence. We were like two innocent bystanders, like in the movies. We didn't know what was happening. I didn't realize that although she was in Croatia, she was a Serbian national. I was Croatian. We didn't pay much attention to the fact that Yugoslavia was falling apart around us, along with the explosions of Croatian nationalism and call to arms to fight for independence. We simply held each other's hand, gazing into one another's eyes. We had just sex for the first time, and desire to be together was strong. I didn't want to let her go. In the spring of 1991, the nationalism reached new levels, and I knew our relationship was going to end. There was going to be no fireworks or happiness, just we were going to both suffer. I'd gone from expecting us to end up living together to be begging her to be with me. The only way I could reach her was to call her uncle's phone, just to hear her voice. I didn't have a car, but we made plans to see each other. I was going to visit her, and I knew her parents were aware of my existence. It was an age where you couldn't hide the fact you were seeing someone from your parents. And in communism, everybody knew where you were, what you were doing, and what you saw. Regardless of where you were and how far you had traveled, everybody knew something. The end of the school year arrived. I remember we held hands and said, "Okay, school is finished. See you next Saturday." I traveled to her city just to spend the afternoon in the park kissing her. Everything was green. There was the smell of freshly cut grass, and we would just sit on a bench like two idiots, oblivious to the events around us. After a few hours, I was back on the train to my city. Our love rapidly became a forbidden love. We didn't know what was happening around us, only that the life we know had ceased to exist.